Hello, I'm Hannah and welcome to my 6-part series of Find Your Flight, where I'll be teaching you the basics of aerial yoga and one of its greatest benefits, which is spinal release and decompression. Let's go ahead and jump into today's lesson. Welcome back. Today's practice is again a little focus on our proprioception, that idea of where we are in space. It will also be an opportunity for us to down-regulate our nervous system and enjoy the benefits of sensations like water-like quality that this hammock can offer us. So the pose of today is called silkworm, and we need to get our whole body lying inside of the fabric. So come around to the front edge of the fabric, turn to face it, and you'll want to find one side, and sometimes it's a little bit rolled up. So that rolled up edge, just take hold of it and then start to sway your hammock from side to side like a big flag blowing in the wind. And you want to see that the whole length of the fabric is swaying out there and that we haven't got it sort of folded in any way. Once you've taken hold of that front edge, walk forwards of plumb line being that center point between the two pillars of fabric. I'm just holding on with one hand as I turn my back to the fabric. I'm hooking my thumbs into that front edge. Thumbs into the front edge. Stay forwards of plumb line. We want some torque on the fabric. And then gather up 6 handfuls. And if you can see my reach, I'm reaching my fingers back, taking a gather and then hooking it into my thumb. That's one gather. And we're doing that again several times. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we can start to step back underneath that plumb line, the center point. Go ahead and look up. Bring your elbows inside of the fabric. We're looking up just to find that we are under center. Elbows inside the fabric, and then bring your hands a little bit wider than your hips because we want to try to avoid actually sitting on top of our hands or our thumbs here. Press your palms down, releve, so come right up onto your tippy toes, and then start to bring your weight into one foot. So I'm going to bring my feet close together, bring weight into one foot and lift the opposite knee. I'm going to ask you to do that again. So drop the foot if you want to, drop the heels, lift up onto your toes, releve, and then swap the weight to the other leg and then lift one knee. And as we're doing this little drill here, you can do that again. See if you can keep pressing the heel of your hand down into the fabric at the same time that you're lifting up onto your toes and then lifting one leg. So press into the outer edge of that hand as you're pressing down and then lower the heels. Last time, go ahead and do that. Doesn't matter which side you're on. And then pull the fabric underneath the buttocks. Keep pushing the palms down until you draw the fabric behind the back of the knees. And we're into a pouch here. We're sat in our fabric. Once you've pulled the fabric behind the back of the knees, hands will begin to rise up. And then take that back edge of the fabric. Try and find that back edge. And again, you might need to search for it if it's sort of rolled in there. I've just taken just the 2 edges. We're starting to create some wings, big butterfly wings, and then push the fabric out wide. And I'm trying to lift it just a little higher than my head. And then wrap your hands forwards, wrap the fabric around your back body, chin to the chest, and start to roll back all the way to lying your head, your back, your spine in the fabric. Here I'm going to just draw my hands a little bit lower and press my shoulders down and wide, opening a little through heart space, and then kick one heel into the front edge and extend your legs. From here, we now have found our whole body inside of the fabric. Maybe just some natural sways of the fabric take over here. So just noticing for the first time that we've brought the whole of our body inside the fabric, and just noticing for the first time perhaps a sense of being hugged or cocooned by the fabric. The pose that you've found yourself in is actually referred to as cocoon, and a wonderful place to find at the end of our practice for Shavasana. I'm going to invite you though to roll onto one side. So just listen to the cues. I'm going to grab the fabric above the left side of my body. You could use one or both hands. Start to pull down and lift your hips enough that you can press your ankles down and your shoulders down, and start to turn your heart towards the left side. I'm going to bring my hands like a little pillow underneath the left side of my face. Some people prefer to have just one hand underneath the face, or none at all. You might even just hold on to the fabric with right hand above your face, just whatever kind of feels comfortable for you here. So you want to aim to have your left shoulder underneath the right, your left hip under the right. Before we start to add some undulations and movement here, I invite you just to notice whether you feel a little slouchy through the mid-body, through the waist. We want to be a little more active if possible. So you're pressing your knees and you're pressing your shoulder a little bit more firmly downwards, so that you just notice the rib cage ever so slightly lift out of the fabric on the left side there. And we're trying to create a nice long line through the spine, a little more activation through the core. And then start to bring your knees and your forehead in towards one another. Exhale, tuck in like a little ball. And then as you inhale, kick the heels away from the buttocks, lengthen the feet forwards, and then start to drag the heels back as you arc open through the heart space. Seeing if your heels come close towards the back of your head, but it's not as much as you think. You're just creating a big long banana shape. We're going to create movement with breath here. Kick heels into the buttocks, then draw knees and face or elbows together in the fabric, and extend the legs forwards, and then kick the heels back, opening through the heart. Continue with the rhythm of your breath. Here we are in our silkworms. Wonderful for creating a little moving meditation here in the fabric, in our body. Connection to diaphragmatic breathing and opening through heart, through groin. And then slowly start to bring yourself through to stillness and to center, and do a little shuffle until you end up onto your back body. And we'll see if we can go for it on the second side. So holding onto the fabric above the right side of your face, pull down and start to swivel your body until you have right side lower than the left. Maybe you've created that little pillow, hands underneath your right cheek. And then again, draw the knees and those elbows close, or face close, and then start to kick the heels forwards and out, and then drag like a long line the heels back behind you and arc open through the hips and the heart, creating that banana shape. Start to move with the rhythm of your breath once you start to get the hang of that movement. Perhaps you can imagine that you're this undersea creature, and this is the way that you move through water, gliding smoothly, breathing with ease. Try to remember to avoid to slouch through the midline, and see if you can have a little more activation through the core by pressing the shoulders and the knees and ankles downwards lightly. And then when you're ready, slowly coming back to center, little shuffle to find your way onto your spine. You're going to kick the heels out through the front edge, bring the fabric behind the back of the knees. Take hold of the fabric up high towards the ceiling above your face. pull down and start to roll up, chin to chest. Bring the arms up high, but keep the arms around the back edge of the fabric. And then perhaps you'd like to end in a little floating child's pose, drawing the shoulders into that front edge of the fabric, making sure that the fabric is behind the back of the knees. You don't want it closer to those sit bones. And then maybe just letting the head drop. You're floating Your floating child's pose may look deeper than mine or much more upright than mine. Just making sure that your shoulders haven't peeped through the front edge, creating a little curve through the spine. One more breath. Press down through the thighs, roll your way up to seated. I'm going to help guide you, bring your feet safely to the ground. So we want to work that grip strength. We've been building it already in the last 2 lessons. You're going to bring your hands up high, hook your thumb around the back edge, fingers around the front. Don't worry about having the fabric really tightly together. Be more concerned about pushing your thumbs into the center of your hand around that fabric, like a nice claw here. And then pull down, hug the elbows in, press the thighs down, and gently land your feet. Well done, and thanks for joining today's practice. Next week, we'll be working on stability and opening up our hips. See you there. If this practice resonates with you, check out the details that I'll add in the description box below. I am involved with virtual teacher trainings in collaboration with the wonderful Renee Stevens from Creative Body Flow, who created this world-class teacher training course for aerial yoga therapeutics. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like it below, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon. Not only will this keep you up to date with my offerings, but will keep content like To The Being free and accessible to all.